Welcome everyone to this week's episode of the Focus TV. We're joined as always. We got Octavia Wyatt, Raymond Lyons, Cardell Dudley Jr. I'm Wilson Tarpe Jr. This is season 7, episode 34. We're in that wonderful part of summer where we're just between so many things. While this week's shows doesn't have as much as last week's has it, but next week we're getting closer to the Olympics. We're getting closer to NFL training camp. And it's just it should be much busier as things go on as time goes on. But Ray, the Mystics have been busy as we get closer and closer to the Olympics break.
Yeah, man, they spent some time out west last week in the midst of a little road trip. They played the Sparks last Tuesday and went to Vegas last Thursday and wrapped up the week in Minnesota on Saturday. They went 1-2 through those 3 games. Had a nail biter against the Sparks with a big fourth quarter. Shatori Kimbrough, who's been playing great as of late. She had 10 of her 17 points in that fourth quarter against the Sparks for the 2-point win. Thursday against the Aces, just kind of ran into a buzzsaw. It's ironic that the Aces have been on the roll since they got one of their key players back from injury. That's some luck that the Mystics could benefit from, because that injury report seems to grow by the day. But they finished things out on Saturday against the Lynx. That was a tough one. They dropped that game to Minnesota, who was without their best player in Nafisa Collier. But Memphis just had a tough game, man. And the same things that have been plaguing them all season, they showed up in full force in that game. They weren't able to control the glass and untimely turnovers. They basically helped the Lynx make up for not having fees in that game, which, with everything the Mystics are facing, they cannot afford to assist the team that they're playing against. We always talk about that slim margin of error they have, and it is very slim. So when things start to fall off a cliff for them, it's just, you could just cancel Christmas on that particular game. They basically have to be as close to perfect as possible to win games in this position with their in, given their injury issues. But yeah, man, they keep trucking along in the season. They're still fighting, but we keep talking about how they're not out of it and they just need to string some wins together. But time is running out. Like you said, we're reaching the midway point. The losses are piling up, and other teams are kind of hitting their stride, and those are teams that they need to catch. So they need to find a way to pull these wins out, man. In the beginning of the season, your thought is, okay, we'll just tread water till we get healthy, but we're beyond that at this point. They need to basically operate as if this is the team that they're going to have, because they have no reason to believe that that's not going to be the case. So prepare for life without Shakira, without Brittany for the foreseeable future, and just try to win some games. And the frustrating part of it is, like you point out all the time, Wilson, it's not like they're just getting smacked every single game. They're in these games. They just have not found a way to put it all together to come out on top. So, maybe this Olympic break will give them some time to recalibrate and just kind of focus on some things that they need to lock in on to reverse their fortunes. Because as it stands now, they're they're at the bottom of the standings, and yeah, it doesn't look like it's really going to get any better, seeing as how they're closing these games. But yeah, man, it is what it is. Either they're going to right the ship or they're not, and that's they're going to give us some good to talk about, or it's going to keep going the way it's going.
Yeah, both you and Cardell been talking about the thin margin for error and how much time they don't have left over the last couple episodes of Mystics Outlook. Obviously, we'll see y'all several times this week as they finish up their trip. Well, kind of their road trip. They got the Fever Wednesday afternoon, literally at noon. So we'll talk to you guys as far as Mystics Outlook goes with that. And then later this week, and they play the Aces once again, which is, I don't think any team in the W is excited about seeing them. I think except De'Erica Hamby's group because the Sparks, she's had great success against the Aces since she's left. Outside of them, I don't think anybody has. All right, it's that time of summer where summer leagues here with the NBA. We've had California Classic has started already. I think the Salt Lake City Summer League started last night. And then we got Vegas. Keep changing the name, but what is it? The 2K25 Summer League. It's still Vegas. I'm old, so I'm sorry for me. Vegas Summer League. But I wanted to ask you guys, obviously, with some of them already going on, then Vegas, where it's a little bit almost everybody involved. What have you taken from what you've seen thus far, or what are you looking most forward to once the 2K25 Summer League starts in Vegas? Octavia, start with you, then Ray and Cardell.
Yeah, I mean, I'm of course most excited to see the top draft picks. I really want to see how much they're going to play, if any. I think that's always the question that comes up when it's summertime, if they're going to play and then how much they're going to play. I'm interested to keep watching Dalton Connect because I think he's a really good player, and I like to see players who spend 4 years in college. They usually be a lot ready when they get in the league, and I would expect that from him. But there isn't anything I'm specifically looking for. I mean, for the home team, of course, if they play, I don't even know if they're playing, I'll be honest. But the top draft picks, especially with, we know the movement of the overseas players coming in, that, and then, really just seeing how all of them are going to fare playing. I mean, granted, they're still playing against their quote unquote peers because it's summer league. But just really getting them in shape, and seeing how they're going to fare when they do get a chance to play in the league. And then, of course, I feel like every year in Summer League, we end up seeing somebody that maybe wasn't on everybody's radar. So I'm always interested to see how that happens.
My bad, Ray. We'll go Cardell and then get back to you. I thought.
It's on me?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I like what I saw out of Zach Edey. That was one of the big question marks. Could he change ends of the floor and keep up with the pace of the game? And he looked pretty spry last night, losing weight over last offseason before his senior year. It did wonders. You know what I mean? And he's a huge human being. Like, he dominated Walker Kessler last night. It was kind of bad. It was definitely kind of bad, man. Dunking on the two hands, and he barely got off the ground. It's just like, and you can see his strength is translating so far. He got to go up against the big dogs, but some of the guys he's played against played in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? You can see he's taking 2-3 guys just to keep him out of the paint, just to keep him off the glass, and he still had 11. So, if he can run, I know he's with Memphis. If he can run with Ja and still do what he does in the half court, that's a hell of a pick for them. That's a hell of a pick because that's more of a you kind of get Steven Adams, but with more polish and bigger. You know what I'm saying? And that's that's hell. On the other side, Blake Henson from Pitt. I like that. Despite all of the hoopla around, who, there are other rookies that's doing their thing, and I like the fact that he's not letting none of that dictate how he plays. He's been killing us on the lighting boys up from three, which is what he's known for, being a shooter, and he's making his case why they should keep him. You know what I mean? And that's what you're supposed to do. And summer league, the whole point is to show the front office that I belong. I can help us win. It's not even like I like the Jared Dudley quote that's been going viral all day about it ain't even about getting 25, because he says a lot of dudes that's gonna put buckets up and they not gonna play in the league next year. You know what I'm saying? It's just about, can you find a way, fulfill a role to help whatever respective team that player is playing on win. And some guys are figuring that out sooner or later, and some guys are listening to the wrong people and thinking scoring and putting up highlights and stuff like that will get in there, and it just won't. I also like on top of Blake, I like Kelly Ware, the big kid I think I spoke about him, was one of my top big men heading into the draft for the Heat. We already know how it's gonna go down with them, man. One of the knocks on him was like he kind of be up and down with his effort. That won't be a problem in Miami. Pat won't let him have up and down moments with his effort. He's gonna always be ready to go. And if he's ready to go, you see the talent already. I think it, 2 games he's averaging 19 points on 51% shooting from the field, 8.5 rebounds, and 3 blocks. So he's killing. He's going to work, man. It was what's his name from USC, Collier, point guard, had a nice debut the other night. Again, kind of falling under the radar because of who he played with or whatnot, or the hoopla with that. But he had a strong input, and obviously as the Vegas, the main summer league start, obviously the hometown team, the Wizards, seeing what they're gonna do, seeing how Sar and Bub and all those guys, how they gonna look, under the lights for the first time. That's gonna be interesting to see. And I think they're about to give the keys to Bub because there's rumors out there that Tyus Jones, they trying to ship him. So they all in on the rebuild and trying to move forward. And he'll get his chance to really show if he's that dude. If he's worthy of them building a team around. Always being one of the main pieces to build a team around. What I'm saying? And also interested in seeing big fella from NC State. DJ Burns with the Cavs. I want to see how he look. In summer league, man. Can't wait to see him get in there. And look, if Zach Edey wow people with how he moved, that's all DJ got to do. What I'm saying? Use that Zach Randolph blueprint. And if he used that Zach Randolph blueprint, he stayed committed to keeping the weight off of him. There's no reason why he shouldn't get his shot, to play in the league. Or the worst case scenario, at least be in the G League next year. What I'm saying? But we'll see what happens, man. But overall, I'm just letting the summer league just unfold. Obviously, Timberwolves, the ties to that. Want to see what Jalen and all those guys, the kid that got drafted out of UCLA last year, but recovering from a torn ACL, he's healthy, being cleared. Another lockdown defender type, seeing what he brings to the table. On top of all the other guys that they drafted, Rob and Terrence Shannon out of Illinois, and one I've been high on since the Portsmouth Invitational. Jesse Edwards, they just got signed to his 2-day today, man. Big man. Like I said, you need multiple big men, and he definitely has the tools to make an impact and possibly be on the main team sooner than later, man. So, but other than that, man, I'm just letting everything unfold and going from there.
Ray, your thoughts on what's happened thus far, and then obviously with Vegas Summer League on the horizon.
Yeah, I was definitely interested to see Zach Edey at this level for the first time, and yeah, he moved better than I expected, to be perfectly honest. And like Cardell pointed out, if that translates in any way, once the games count, then that's going to be really big for Memphis. They're coming off some tumultuous times, and it would be good for them to just kind of get things steady again. They're getting Ja back, and yeah, if that Edey pick pans out, then that's going to be huge for them. Also, Collier did have he had a solid outing, and Keontae George for the Jazz as well. Coming off, he had a solid rookie year, and I mean his confidence just looks different, man. Looks like he's ready to go. And to Octavia's point, I just want these guys to play every game. I don't know when they started putting dudes on a pitch count in summer league, but yeah, that's foolishness. I don't know, man, but I'm about to get on my old man yelling the cloud stuff. But I remember when guys like D Wade and LeBron and whoever else you could think of played and competed in summer league. I don't know how we got away from that, but we need to get back to it. So yeah, hopefully things pan out as the way these guys actually get that full experience. And like those games are important, man. It gives them time to develop and get more comfortable and get acclimated to the guys they'll possibly be playing with. And it gives other guys an opportunity to earn their spot. So yeah, man, treat summer league like it's important again, because it is. But yeah, with the Vegas portion coming up, definitely interested to see how the Wizards look with their new acquisitions. I feel like we start the season in the same place with them, with cautious optimism, but it's a little bit more this season mainly because of the front office. They've been putting in work since they got here. Once they handled the Bradley Beal situation the first day on the job, I was like, I'm in on these guys. And they've been making the right steps ever since. So I'm definitely excited to see how Sarr looks along with Bub Carrington and their other young guys, and just the other rookies around the league as well. Yeah, man, just looking forward to to seeing how things pan out.
Yeah, I'm with everyone so far. I just like this time of summer. And as you said, Ray, yeah, I'm out there on my lawn, old man on my lawn too. Like, play. Like, play. It's a new level. The more reps you get at it live, it helps you start your rookie year. I know this is old school. It sounds crazy, but like many old school things that are seemingly called crazy now, it freaking helps. It literally helps. As you guys said, Cardell, you've been screaming out bigs for the last 3-4 years. That's what I want to see as a whole in Summer League. I just want to see the young bigs. This class that just drafted, that just came into the league, and also the second-year bigs. You see what some of those folks that came in last year, what did you learn from getting your butt kicked last year? Also, did you learn enough to hold off some of these young cats that hit the ground running? Edie, where did you hold off some? Are you gonna be able to hold off some of them guys that just got here? And then like the younger teams, like we saw Orlando, OKC, Minnesota all have varying different degrees of success in the postseason, right? In terms of where their teams are built, where the stars are, what have you. We're also seeing through free agency how real that second apron is now. Like it's here now, which means, get this summer league stuff matters even more, because how teams are built, you now almost have to get to the NFL mindset of you got to get as much bang for buck as you can out them that initial rookie contract as possible, which means people got to, like, what's it called? You guys mentioned with the development, you almost got it, like, it has to be quicker now because they got to maximize it, because everyone's like, while talented people will deserve second contracts, it might not be with the team that drafted you, because they might not have a room. You got to get in and make it to where you're not expendable. Somebody else that got drafted maybe a year before, 2 years before, decisions were made, which means, again, some of these that much more important, man. And then just you guys both mentioned with the Wizards, I just want to see year two as they continue to build, man. Like we saw last year, Bilal was the first pillar of this regime, right? We see what this draft class looks like. We've lauded this draft class. I just want to see these cycles go out and compete. And that's what I like about them thus far. You got Bilal's going to be in the Olympics, healthy. That's a great thing for him. These kids are going to be in Summer League with their competitive spirit that we've all seen, obviously on a collegiate level, or in Sarr's case, prior to the NBA. I just want to see them go out there and compete and see if they can continue. We find out what the identity for this new regime is, if they can continue to build off it, right? But yeah, I just please play, like you guys mentioned. Please play. Some of the folks I enjoy seeing already, as far as I know you guys mentioned Collier for sure already. Jared McCain had a nice debut. I enjoyed Castle's debut. Wasn't big box score wise, but in terms of some of these kids are coming in just comfortable, which is great, and obviously speaks to their stops in college. Credit to, again, coaching in college helps. Where you go helps, which is why, again, I'm excited about some of the Washington kids. But look, with everybody else, I just can't wait to get started. I'm sure we'll be talking about it more as the weeks in the coming weeks with Vegas. But that said, we're extended, take it or leave it, and rapid fire today. We're gonna jump right on in. Cardell, what we got?
Yeah, we're gonna start on the take it or leave it portion. On the boxer side, boxer star Ryan Garcia apologized for his use of racial slurs against us, Black people, and disparaging comments he made about Muslims during a recent live stream on social media. Quote, I take all responsibility for my words. Sorry to everyone that I offended. Garcia went on to say that he is misunderstood and is struggling with substance abuse and is going to rehab. His apology came one day after World Boxing Council President Mauricio Suleiman announced his sanctioning body was expelling Garcia for his actions during the live stream. Quote, we reject any form of discrimination, Suleiman wrote. I fear for Ryan's well-being as he has declined multiple attempts for our help with mental health and substance abuse. Oscar De La Hoya, Garcia's promoter, then announced his fighter's behavior in a strongly worded statement. Quote, there is no room for hate or intolerance at my company, period. I condemn Ryan's words in the strongest terms possible. I see that he has apologized, and that is a start. But it's only a start to earn back the trust and respect of those of us who have and continue to support him. We hope Ryan will use the time he has away from the sport to work through the issue he has publicly discussed. We stand ready to help in whatever we can. Garcia is currently serving a 1-year suspension from the New York State Athletic Commission after testing positive for the performance-enhancing drug Osterin. That suspension is retroactive to Garcia's April 20th decision victory over Devin Haney, which has since been overturned to a no contest. I'll start with you, Octavia. Take it or leave it, his apology, and do you think he will ever get his career back on track?
I want to leave it just because I don't take words. Like, I gotta see actions, to be fair. I appreciate him finally coming out and saying he need help, because he's been in a spiral for a minute now, and it's just been weird. Like, and I don't know, it came out of nowhere, in my opinion. It was just like one day Ryan Garcia was just tripping, and I don't know what's going on in his life. I'm hoping it's not like fame is a hell of a drug and it's gone to his head and he's just started wilding, but which it could be. I'm not sure of his age, but I'm pretty sure he's pretty young, even though I hate giving that excuse as well. Yeah, but I'm gonna leave it until I see any changes. You know, like, I hope he does realize what he's done. I hope he does get his career back on track, because he's a great boxer, and we need great boxers in the sport to keep it alive. So I'm hoping that he gets it together, but he's been spiraling out of control over these last couple of months, and I'm hoping that, you know, he has good people in his camp that will help him, which I'm kind of scared for the reason that they haven't already stepped in before it got this far. But if he is actually acknowledging it and he's actually going to go to rehab and he's actually going to try to really get himself together, I'm all for a redemption story. But at the moment, I'm gonna have to leave it until I see it.
And yeah, Ryan will be 26 August 8th. Ray, your thoughts? Take it or leave it.
Yeah, with them comments and every situation like that, leave it, man. Like, I don't want to hear your apology. You meant it. Like, you're only apologizing because there's consequences and you're trying to save face or what have you. But yeah, like, stuff like that don't fly out your mouth just by happenstance. Like, that's what he's a veteran in that game, man. Like, you don't just start talking like that one day. But you know, as far as the boxing side, yeah, like Octavia said, he's been on a weird path for quite some time now, and again, like she said, I don't see how it got to this point before somebody intervened, and maybe they have. He's rejected the help. I don't know, but something should have been done before this. Yeah, dude just been on weird time for basically since the build up to the Tank fight. But yeah, if he can turn things around professionally, then, you know, good for him. Definitely don't wish any physical harm to him. But yeah, this age of athlete is just these camera phones and social media, man. They got these people tripping. Get in the lab and work on your craft and mind your business, and you'll be okay. But all this other stuff, it's gonna take away everything that you worked so hard for. And for him to kind of be at the pinnacle, you know, he had the Tank fight, which is a huge fight for him. Then you got the decision over Haney, which is now tainted, and then with his out of the ring behavior as well, he's on a path to usher himself out of the sport. So, like you point out, he's still young, 26. He'll be 26, so he's got some time, but he's got to put in the work to get himself back on track.
Wilson.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it. I hope he gets the help that he needs. And to echo Ray's sentiments, he's been off it being the path for quite a bit. I don't know if it was that shot he took in that fight against Tank. He just never got right after that. I don't know. But he's, and the other things for me why I can't really give it too much of like the age thing for me. Why does it matter? Like, it's boxing. You've been doing this for quite a while, man, even before you turned pro. Also, you were born, this social media stuff's not new to you. Like, you grew up with all this stuff. Like, you know better. And that's not as, again, you don't accidentally stumble and wander down that area of words, just, oh my God, how did I get here? Yeah, I just blurted it out. Nah. But I just hope he gets the help that he needs, man. But yeah, I'm definitely leave it, and I don't really want to see him or hear from him for a while, for a little bit.
Yeah, I'm with y'all. Definitely gotta leave it. The age thing, we all been young, man. It's tough trying to figure out who you are when it's other people saying you should be this way and the world saying you are this and all that. It's tough to put it together in your 20s. I say about your late 20s, or 30, you start putting it together. It's kind of like, it's not nearly as bad what Ryan's done, but how Kyrie was viewed a few years ago, you see it's a maturation process that has occurred now. You know what I'm saying? And you just gotta respect it, and you realize he just needed to grow up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And you don't see nearly as much and stuff like that, man. More humble, just appreciating life, handling his business on the court, and then he go home to his family. Grown man stuff, you know what I mean? Ryan's situation, I'm leaving it because that racist stuff, people don't play with that. That's in your spirit. And out of all the stuff you could have said, you went there. And you know better. Because one, you're a minority. So what if a black athlete was on live stream saying some derogatory, messed up stuff about your coaching? You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't let it fly either. To me, he just seems to be a victim of just too much too soon, man. And I don't think he has anybody really in his circle. I'm talking about like family that can really check him, because he's been going off the hinges even before the Tank fight. Like, there's been a lot of public, loud outbursts, talking trash and stuff like that, man. And because even before, a few years before the Tank fight, it was like right before COVID hit, he was trying to egg Tank on to get that fight. And Tank like, bro, you need to just fight, period. You up here on social media doing boxing, like, see who hit the hardest with average fans. You're not even in the ring fighting. So don't come and holler at me till you do something. You know what I'm saying? And then after COVID, he got in the ring a little bit. And Gervonta's like, all right, since you won it, we're going to get in. And then you saw what happened. And then it's the people, the OGs, that are telling him what he needs to hear. He's not listening. So it's just he's just spinning out of control. And then now you're in the substance abuse, which I'm pretty sure it ain't just drugs. It's probably alcohol and all that. You see what I'm saying? That world. It's just, I agree with Ray, man. It's like this generation mentally, because they grew up with adults trying to be their friends. They don't know how to deal with it. We grew up with adults like, I'm not your fucking friend. I slapped the shit out you. It's like you knew early on there's consequences for certain actions. So I'm not even going to do that because I don't want to get hurt. So I'm going to stay on the straight and narrow and handle my business. They don't have that wherewithal. And then when the consequences come, they go into hiding because it's just like, damn, I didn't know. Well, you should have known. This is what's going to happen if you keep disrespecting and then playing with people. It's going to come to this. And there's so many examples of boxing where, you can look at Mike Tyson. You lose your ability to have a livelihood. Because what else you really going to fall back on? Because now you done pissed a lot of people off. It's not going to be that many people willing to deal with you in the business world or ever, in anything, any other lane. And you only got a small window as an athlete to cash in and maximize what you have as a talent. And you're throwing that away over dumbness. You're throwing it away. It's nothing nobody else is doing to you. You're doing it, literally to yourself. All because you're running from the pressure. Let's call it what it is. Because you was once seen as the prodigy and stuff like that, and you done seen people, Tank Davis, just move up to the top of the sport, and you still known for more. You know more for social media, who can hit the hardest stuff than actually winning any big fights, and that's your doing. You got to keep the main thing the main thing, and these youngins struggle with that. I don't want to hear about it's tougher now with social media. Man, you have an option always. Delete your account or pay somebody to run it. You ain't even got to deal with it. And don't tell me nothing negative that's coming from that. I got to stay focused. You easily can do that with the snap of a finger. So you choosing not to. So that's still your responsibility and that's your fault. So, hopefully he gets the help he deserves. But I'm like, come on, man. You saying all that. If I'm a black fighter, why would I want to deal with you? I ain't helping you get a payday. You really going to climb out the gutter with this one, man, because you just disrespected. And on top of that, your value low because you haven't beaten anybody of significance. We're going to move on to the next one. Let's see. Moving to the NBA side. First, y'all win the NBA title and signing a record contract extension over the weekend. Jason Tatum arrived in Las Vegas for his first Team USA training camp practice Monday with a fresh haircut, feeling like the weight was lifted off his shoulders. Quote, 100%, Tatum said, shortly after participating in his first practice here after being excused from the opening 2 days of preparation for the Paris Olympic Games. Just being at the topic of discussion of so many debates or whatever it is, can he lead a team? Is he a top 5 player? There's still a lot of things I guess they can debate, but now I've done something they can't debate. I won a championship. Having that under my belt, obviously, it's still conversations to be had or whatever people want to say, but they always got to refer to me as an NBA champion. We all know what Tatum did, leading the Celtics to the 64 wins in the regular season, and they went 16-3 in the postseason, which is the second best overall record in the postseason in NBA history, only behind the 16-1 2017 Golden State Warriors in terms of winning percentage since the league went to the 4 7-game rounds in the playoffs. Do you see Tatum now as a top 5 player and one of the elite players now that he has won the championship, or is there still more work to be done? Ray, we're gonna start with you.
There's always more work to be done. We can start there, because unless you're going to retire, once next season start, that championship, I'm not going to say it don't mean nothing, but you back to square one, buddy. So if you want to repeat, I would suggest you don't get complacent and get happy with the one, because anybody will tell you only thing harder than winning one is winning two. So yeah, I don't get that vibe from him. He's entitled to feel some relief for finally getting over that hump. So yeah, man, just want to see how he comes back, if he still has that same hunger, because the target's on his back now, and it's different from going from being the hunter to the hunted. We've seen that play out time and time again. It's a reason why people don't repeat that much, but they're in a pretty good spot. They pretty much got their team back, and it's just a sense of continuity there. As far as him being a top 5 player, we talk about those, those needle movers all the time. You got your guys like Jokic, Giannis,
Embiid, Luka.
It's tough, man.
Yeah.
It's crowded at the top, So yeah, I'm not gonna get into that right now. He can come out and make it not a discussion. He can always do that. If he comes out and just and does his thing and makes it undeniable, I'll have no problem whatsoever saying, hey man, look, the proof is there. I don't argue with evidence. If you lay out your case and it's ironclad, then you got it. But yeah, in that area, I think he definitely has some room to grow. Because and it's definitely no shade or no shot to him, but we saw Jaylen Brown kind of ascend to where like there's two leaders of that team.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if you want to solidify yourself as a top 5 player, put yourself in that conversation. That's rare air, man. And you gotta. So if he's top 5, then where Jaylen at? Because they went hand in hand with winning that championship, and in some spots, Jaylen did the dirty work and and made some of those key plays, and Jason had his moments as well, but yeah, in that regard, he's got some ways to go, but it's definitely, I've definitely enjoyed seeing his progression throughout his career to this point, and yeah, if he can get that next level, which I think he's capable of, but that just takes some extra digging, which which a lot of people don't get to. It's a lot of dudes talent wise that can be top 5 or best player in the league or what have you, but if talent was the only factor, then a lot of dudes would have won championships and accomplished a lot of great things. You got to have something more at that level, man. It's just not about being talented. That's the top 450 in the world. Everybody's talented, and then at the top, it gets even, the competition gets even steeper. So you got to do some things and put some work in and separate yourself.
Wilson.
Congrats on winning their first championship. That was a huge accomplishment for him and Jaylen Brown. But yeah, there's more work to be done, man. Especially considering like it's one of those things where we've seen people have discussion in terms of like finals MVPs with other folks, who, I mean, like they were dominant to the point where they were fighting each other for that trophy. That's not what this was. So more work to be done. Hell of a job this past year. As Ray said, it goes back to ground zero. You got to climb the mountain again. And again, to echo Ray's sentiments, you have time to make that not a thing, not a question, not a discussion where we're like, hey, you were there. I think it's one of those things where when you're in that conversation, we don't have to talk about it. We just accept that you're in that conversation. And when you're not in that conversation, where you're not there, we do what I think almost everybody here just did, where your brain starts racking off names that pop in front of you. This is not to knock you. It's just, it was crowded. I don't know. Like, if you're not one of the first initial things that pop to mind, the answer's no. And that's why it's so tough to be, regarded in that rare air, because you have to be a cold, for it to be like it. For that many people, you'd be like, you say it, it's one of the first 3 names. That's when we know for sure you're a top 5 player. At least for me, where you can ask random, multiple names might pop up, but 2 to 3 are similar, 3 to 5 are similar. You're not there yet, so that's just where I'm at with it.
Octavia.
So the bias side of me wants to say he was first team All NBA, kind of top 5, but that's just the bias side of me. But yeah, I agree with everybody. Winning the championship is a hard feat to do. That's one monkey, in my opinion, that he's at least got off his back. But there are more monkeys. They're still there. He still has things that he needs to do in order, the type of legacy that he wants to have as a player in the NBA. And yeah, there's always going to be room for improvement. And also, like you guys brought up, Jaylen Brown was Eastern Conference Final MVP, NBA Championship Finals MVP, and didn't even make an All NBA team, or wasn't. I can't remember if he didn't make one at all. But either way, he wasn't on the first team. So Yeah, he's knocking at the door too. And just the pressure that Jalen had on him last year with that contract, JC's going to have the same pressure this year with the even bigger contract. So the words that he heard last year, while granted, I do believe he had a really good regular season, which is what I believe is how he made the first team All NBA. Of course, also having the best team in the league for the entire season. So yeah, it was definitely warranted in that. But like you said, once October hits, training camp starts, and nobody's thinking about that again. They're looking at what you're going to do going forward. So I think he has it in him. It's only going to get tougher as we see the continued talent that comes into the league. There are people that were injured last year. There were people that weren't allowed to play last year. And I have a feeling that one person may come back with a vengeance as long as he can stay out of his own way. There's a lot of young players, even though the running joke is he's still very young. Jason Tatum, I think he's 25 or 26, but everybody thinks he's still 19. But there are younger players right behind him. You know, you think that Luka Doncic isn't going to get an effect of playing with Klay Thompson? That's crazy. He's only going to get better. You think that SGA is not going to get better by playing with a defensive-minded player like Caruso and having vets around him and what they're building out there in OKC? He's going to get better. We know what Ant Edwards is going to do with the talent that he's going to have around him as well. So that's 3 young players that you're naming right there, not mentioning Jokic, who's going to, of course, be Jokic. We expect Embiid to be Embiid coming off of an injury again. Hopefully he stays healthy. I mean, if you think about it, Giannis kind of had a down year with injuries as well. I'm sure he wants to come back. You saw his reaction for him finally making the Olympics. He's going to come back with a vengeance. So it's going to be tough competition. He definitely has it in him, but it's not that easy and it's not that solidified. But like he did say, they are always going to have to refer to him as an NBA champion because he did win. He played against the people that were in front of him. He beat the teams that were in front of him, and they won. But it's not that simple. I expect him to, with them having their core really coming back next year, they have a good opportunity to, but we know everybody else is gunning for him. So he definitely has to be focused, motivated, determined. And just roll this whole year into going into the next year, coming off of a great season, winning the NBA finals, going into the Olympics, and hopefully coming back with a gold and then roll it right back into the season to keep it going. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, for me, it's like what Fabulous said on BOMB. He's referencing Michael Jordan. He said, do it one time, they're going to say it's luck. Got to hit him with the repeat. Do it 2 times, they're going to still doubt. Now I got a 3-peat. It's the same thing with him. Like, people like, all right, you did it. But you see a lot of teams in the East loaded up. They loaded up to make sure that don't happen. And that's just real, man. Like, you win this and you don't ever get back or get close to winning again. They're like, all right. And they already saying it's true because a lot of players was hurt on your run. A lot of top players, the Giannis's, even with the Pacers, Tyrese got hurt. You see what I'm saying? They're already saying that. So I get it. You did, but you can't control that. Y'all did what y'all had to do, but you gotta stay with it, man, because people coming for that. He was talking about Missoula, and he like, man, Missoula already drawing up players for next season. I'm like, yeah, because he had to grind to get there, dog. He went through hell to get to that point. For you, it was kind of your talent kind of gave you a little grace period where you could easily just flow and keep building and stuff like that because of how talented you are. But the grace period is over now. Now you're about to be hunted. It's different. And people not trying to understand, like, these young boys are here now. They fighting, trying to be the next guy. You see what I'm saying? And it's a lot of people. We named all these players, and we didn't even get to Wembanyama yet, who just may take over the league soon. You just know, you can see the potential right there. It could get ugly real quick. You know what I'm saying? And that's why Chris Paul on the Vets going there to try to speed that process up to make it ugly. You know what I mean? And also, let's just keep it real. The franchise you play for won championship? Like, what's that? Like, are you serious? Come on, bro. Nah, bro. Nah. You gotta get a few. then let's talk, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not even it's so many names, and I love Tatum, man. Watched him since he was in high school, bro. Watched him go toe-to-toe with KD as a junior, dog. That's how I knew him and Jaylen Brown could work when the world was like they could split them up. I knew they could work because I saw them work when they was young boys fighting for rankings and college scholarships. When they at the stage where they could be ultra selfish and no one would care. They will understand because you fighting. But they still blended together perfectly when I was going against the league MVP. So I know he's capable of, but it's another level. And that level is becoming ruthless. And you just destroy the league year after year after year after year. That's what we're waiting to see. And let's be real. Jaylen Brown is showing more being like that than he is. And that's are you that guy? Or are you that guy because you're good, you're nice, but you got the Duke engine behind you. You got certain engines behind you that Jaylen Brown don't have. You see what I'm saying? And that matters, and when it comes to the little narrative or whatnot. But dog, it's worth to be done. Like I can't say you top 5. Like you're not better than Joe. I can't put you above Steph because come on, man. He got 4 of them. You know what I'm saying? I can't say you better than Steph. I can't say you better than Jokic. I can't say you better than Giannis. You know what I'm saying? Are you playing better than Luka and Ant-Man coming off last season individually? Can you say that? And you really can't. You can still throw KD in there. He got the rings. You see what I'm saying? It's a lot. It's not a lot. He's top 10 for sure. That's not without question. But that top 5, it's hard to break into that. And you have to win many to get up in there, man. And you have to dominate. Consistently dominate and win. And he has to do that for a few years to be like, all right, yeah, he definitely up there. You see what I'm saying? Like, we can't even say for sure he's the best at his positions. So how can you say you the top 5? Because that's what that's usually reserved for. Moving on, last one, and take it or leave it. Klay Thompson said he has moved past the disappointment over realizing the breakup with the Warriors after a historic 13-year run was in his best interest and is now determined to rediscover his joy for the game with the new franchise. Thompson smiled throughout Tuesday's news conference at the Dallas Mavericks practice facility, where he was introduced along with the team's other offseason acquisitions, local product Najee Marshall and shooting guard Quentin Grimes. Quote, "Coming here is just a fresh start," Thompson said. "Feeling just wanted again, like I bring great value. It just gets me excited to go out there and even work out after this press conference and get shots up. Yeah, there was times last year where it was tough, where it wasn't as joyful as it was in the past. It's nice to kind of share that and have a whole new fresh start, whole new group of guys to get to know, co-workers, whole new city. It's really cool, and I'm going to embrace the heck out of this opportunity." Thompson, 34, has not been an all-star since missing 2.5 seasons of his prime due to a torn ACL suffering the 2019 finals and a ruptured Achilles suffered during the 2020 offseason. However, he remains one of the league's premier three-point threats, averaging 17.9 points per game, shooting 38.7% on high volume beyond the arc last season. The Mavs envision Thompson as an excellent complement to their star duo, Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. Quote, "At this point in my career, I mean, you still can't leave me open." Thompson said, "Wilson, take it or leave it. Klay Thompson will look like Klay Thompson."
Oh boy. I'm gonna take it just because, man, Luka causes so much hell to opposing defenses. And then the other dude does too. So he'll look like Klay Thompson. I just don't know if he'll look like Warriors championship Klay Thompson. But he can easily, replicate the good times from last season and whatnot. But I think he'll have an up year for sure. Some of the stuff Golden State had going on with, it's not like they're, they weren't the Golden State of old. I think that's the nicest way to say it, right? And obviously, him with what he's been through with the injuries and whatnot, he's not old Klay Thompson either. But I'll take it. I think he can get back to being a better version than he was last year. So I'll take it. But
Octavia.
I'm going to keep my same thing. I'm going to leave it just because I want to see it. I want to see it, not saying that he can't do it, but I definitely agree with Wilson where I don't know if it's going to be Klay Thompson from the championship dynasty Warriors. And when I think of Klay Thompson, that's who I think of. So I don't know if that's considered taking it or leaving it, to be fair. I might be kind of straddling the fence at this point. But yeah, I think it's going to be interesting, with their off season to see how the chemistry works out, because as we know, a lot of times people don't remember the chemistry that's needed for these type of things. I mean, it took Kyrie a season and like a half a season and, some time to really get acclimated. And I think it's going to be a transition for him as well. Not saying that he won't be. I mean, I think like 80% of Klay is better than a lot of percent of other people in the league. So it's not to say that it's going to be a bad thing, but until I see it, I'm going to leave it for now.
Right.
Yeah, I'm kind of stuck in the middle. I mean, if like Wilson said, if he's going to be effective, that's no doubt, given just based on how much stress those other two guys cause defenses. Like, I think we talked about this when the trade first went, when the move first went down. People won't have a choice to make. Either help when Kyrie or Luka beats their man and leave Klay open, or stay home on Klay and then just let somebody get abused on the island out there. But yeah, like Octavia and Wilson said, those Dynasty Warriors days of Klay, I think they're long gone. Those two major injuries to your lower extremities for a player like him, it's tough, man. And I think it's showing the most on the defensive end. Like, Klay used to be a superb defender. I just don't think he can produce in that way at the end of the floor anymore. But yeah, I think he'll seems to be in a better space mentally, and that always helps. So hopefully, that'll show itself on the floor. But I kind of feel like he's just salty that they wouldn't give him the money he wanted. But dude, you gotta, and I know it's hard for a player to look at it from this standpoint, but I mean, you're not producing the way you were, and you're coming off major injuries. Sounds like a poor investment to me, buddy. They can give you something, but not kind of what you're asking for. I mean, I think people think they Kobe out here. You're not getting that Kobe love even after you've broken down. That dude put in a lot of work for one of the premier franchises in the league. Everybody's not gonna get that treatment. You just got to take that for what it is. But no, I definitely hope he he kind of has a rebound year and can do some good things in Dallas.
It's interesting because he's going to be the third option for the first time in his career. And I'm looking at it like, if he can't look closer to being like Klay Thompson for most of his career, being the third option, it might be time to hang it up. You see what I'm saying? And that's why I think he will look like that, because he won't. In Golden State, he was the second option. Like, he was. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he could do that no more. But being the third option behind that, and really, he don't even have to do a lot as much as he used to, because really he's going to be spotting up and literally, depending on who's on the floor, guarding the third option on the other team. He should be able to still do that. You know what I'm saying? And I think he's going to get wide open looks, because like you said, man, the gravity goes with Luka so much. And we all know Kyrie's a wizard with the rock. It's just tough. Like, basically, he's replacing, like, I think Najee Marshall was signed to kind of be that defensive ace in the hole. Klay can't get it done. Cool. They replaced Derrick Jones. But Klay is basically replacing Tim Hardaway Jr. And Tim Hardaway Jr. broke down. Like, that's an upgrade. Like, if Klay can't hit outside shots at an efficient rate with those two, which will save his legs and him being able to stay in front of people, yeah, it might be time to hang it up, bro. Like, you're just being real, because it ain't going to get no better than that. It's just not. not at this stage of his career, and just not moving forward. It's just not. It's not possible. So I expect him to look more like the Klay Thompson we've known him to be, in that system now. With that being said, I do agree with Ray as far as you got to humble yourself a little bit, dog, because you did get paid 100 M's when you was hurt. They took care of you. And that's why Bob Myers was like, I'm out of here. I do not want to be a part. When he left, and it was weird. I remember seeing him at the Wizards game, and he was outside taking pictures with the fans, like off 6th Street, just when we go in for the entrance, just out there, just taking pictures, staying there all day. And it's like, that's not hard. Okay. And it made sense because he knew that was goodbye. He knew he was moving on because he knew he didn't want to be here to tear this up because that's tough. You got personal relationships and basically tell them, yeah, man, you ain't got it no more. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be tough. That's tough. And I think what messes Klay up is we could be real about it. You gave Draymond his money, but you ain't give me mine. Now, Draymond's important, but come on now. Draymond caused a lot of damage, and he damn sure not the player I am. So that's tough. That bruises your ego and stuff like that. Everybody got taken care of. Hell, you even gave Jordan Poole the money and then shipped them off. Where mine at? So it's just, I get it in a sense, but you also just got to be real. You got to understand things from their perspective. You know what I'm saying? And I get it because, doing the scouting thing, you got to be honest with players, and it's tough for them to really understand. It's like, nah, player, look, this way you're not good in this area. This was holding you back, and they don't want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? And it's tough, but you got to be honest with it. In the long run, they appreciate it in the long run. But right now, Klay's still competitive as hell and still trying to, and I get it. I respect it. I get it, man. But you got to do them that solid too if you really wanted to stay there. You could just tell last year he was just trying to get through it, man. So, but I think it's a good opportunity for him, man. Obviously, like I said, man, if he can't take advantage of playing with those two, I mean, yeah, it's time to look at retirement because it's not gonna get any easier, man. Like this will be the most open looks you got since you played with Steph and KD. So. And they get this type of spacing and looks like the open looks like this twice in your career as a shooter. I mean, what more can you ask for, dog? Like, he should be eating that shit. So if he ain't eating, it's like, yeah, brother, it's time. Father time. Got a couple questions for rapid fire, man, and we're gonna get up out of here. Sacramento Kings made a big offseason addition by trading for DeMar DeRozan to deal with the Bulls. The veteran guard will join the likes of De'Aaron Fox, DeMar Sabonis, and Sacramento as the team aims to compete in the ever-crowded Western Conference playoff race. The Kings weren't the only team in pursuit of the 34-year-old, according to Shams Charania. DeRozan was made to decide between joining Sacramento or being dealt to the Miami Heat. A native of California, DeRozan chose to return to his home state in order to live on the West Coast once more. DeRozan is entering the first season of a 3-year, $70 million deal that will run through the 26-27 season. In his last season in Chicago, he averaged 24 points, 5.3 assists, and 4.3 rebounds. It was his 11th straight campaign, averaging more than 20 points. How big of an addition is DeRozan with the Kings, and do they vault to the top of the West once again? Back on you, Octavia.
I won't necessarily say vault back to the top of the West, but it's definitely a damn good pickup. One thing DeMar DeRozan know how to do is put the ball in the basket. So I'm excited to see him play alongside De'Aaron Fox. That's going to be hella interesting. I do think that it helps them have a bounce back season. 2 seasons ago, they were at the top. So we know that they're able to do it. But like we just talked about, the West and the youngins out there are all getting strong too. So it's definitely continuously going to be hard for anybody. But I like the pickup. I like if it came down between the Kings and the Heat for him, I agree with him going to the Kings as well, even outside of the fact that it's on the West Coast and he wants to go home. I think it'll be a nice fit. I'm always, I don't know, today I'm just on this really like I can't wait to see when I really want to see it. But that's a big one that I really think is going to help them. I mean, his leadership alone is going to help them, like, to be fair. But see him and De'Aaron Fox in the backcourt is just going to be wild.
And don't forget the small foot Keegan Murray. That's tough.
I mean,
That's
we
tough.
saw what Malik Monk did before he got hurt. Sabonis still out. Like they got a little squad, like for real. And then we know Mike Brown is, been coaching his ass off outside of last year for real. But it's definitely gonna get interesting out there.
Right.
Yeah, man, I like the pickup. That was probably the best they was going to do at that point, and they jumped into the arms race because you got to, man. Like you pointed out earlier, the talent that's being spread around in the league is going to be a gauntlet, and if you don't got the horses, then you can hang it up. So yeah, it was definitely a good pickup for them. It definitely give them some added firepower offensively. And yeah, the Monk injury last year was huge for them. He comes back healthy. That's that's a different team. They can return to the form they were a couple years ago. But yeah, that'll it should help. He's at the point in his career where he doesn't have to be the guy anymore. He can tell Fox, you go ahead. I'm here to, I'm the security blanket at this point. You run the show, and when we need to get it done, I'm here for you. And that veteran leadership is going to help them as well. And yeah, they got a nice squad, man, with a seasoned coach. I think they can make some noise. The West, man, I don't feel sorry for none of them teams out there because that's regular season going to be hell.
Wilson.
I think it gives them an adult scoring option late in games. Just sometimes when they do some weird, have weird, funky young moments. And it's fun because you know what era we're in, and the Kings were like, hey, let's go get somebody who does that stuff in the middle, because it's hell of effective. Also, outside of Kevin, because he just shoots ridiculous in that range. The next best thing in that range in the league is pretty much DeMar DeRozan. Like, it's in terms of who shoots, who takes that many shots in that area, who's that efficient. Every time you look at mid-range shooters in the league, I think Shea's on there too, but DeMar is always, you see Kevin's name up there, some absurd percentage. DeMar isn't that far behind. I think heading into this past season, like the 3 seasons prior, like almost 1,000 shots in the mid-range. He was like almost 750 shots in the mid-range. And again, you brought up Keegan Murray. You talk about the pressure that releases now for defenses. You got to make a decision. Keegan's going to get some more easy shots, or y'all got to go play the pump fake and don't foul DeMar game. Enjoy it. While dealing with Darren.
Yeah.
Week, it's the bonus. And that's another release valve for some bonus now. Now, when the double comes or whatever, you don't got to kick it over the top of a tree or a couple players to the 3-point line and someone takes an ill-advised shot. DeMar be right there at that elbow, buddy. Right there. I think it's a nice pressure release for a young team that's trying to make strides in a tough Western Conference. Does this welcome to the top of the West? Nah, because the top of the West is crazy. It's crazy. It should put him back on their path. Like Octavia, man, they kind of took a step back last year. It should put him back on the path to be in the conversation of the top teams in the West. But the top teams in the West are the same top 3 that was messing around with that shared the 1 seed essentially in the playoffs. It's 1 through 3 and everybody else. So yeah.
Everything y'all said, but what everybody missing, he can run with the air. And we know what he can do when he take flight. Easy baskets as well. And he can defend. He's a pretty solid defender as well. So, yeah, man. Yeah. Shit, the West, man. Goddamn. And you got it. And, Ja going to be there. Houston, I expect them to be better. We don't know what we're going to see with, Wemby. Like, the West, yeah, man. Like, sheesh. You know what I'm saying? And then, with the Clippers losing key free agents, the Warriors, they taking a step back. It's real. It's real, man. So you couldn't stay back, and they went out and got them, which shows me they're committed to winning. You know what I'm saying? Like they trying to go all in with this core to really make that run. But they're dangerous. They're dangerous, man. And we know in the playoffs it's about matchups. You could be the hottest team in the league, and if you look back through NBA history, every playoff run, every champion, it was always that one team that gave them. Hey, I remember I was looking at the other day. The always Celtics won the championship. KG, Paul, Ray Allen, them boys, Young Rondo. People forget the Hawks took them to 7 the first round, dog. They gave them everything they got, man. They almost went on the first round, dog. The eventual champs. Next thing you know, a few weeks later, they beating Kobe and Pau Gasol by like 30 in the finals, like laughing at them, destroying them. You know what I'm saying? So it's always that one team that's a match. And I think this team could be a problem for a lot of those top teams because the Nuggets got weaker. They lost some key people. You lost KCP. Beho, one of the young boys, ready to go. Like and KCP is one of the guys that would be on this guy to keep him contained. Now you don't have that, so now you better. One of them young bucks gonna have to grow up quick. And as we saw last year, they wasn't quite ready, so they may take a step back. It's gonna be fun to watch, man, because it's gonna be super competitive. Like the league ain't been this competitive in a long time, in both conferences. So. We're going to see how it goes. Last one. This should make you guys laugh. Going to Philly. A week after agreeing to join the Sixers, Paul George has opened up on his breakup with his hometown Clippers and the breakdown contract negotiations that preceded his exit. George detailed his side of his talks on the Clippers on his Podcast P with Paul George. In it, he said that he never wanted to leave Los Angeles. But that a disrespectful Clippers offer in October set the tone for the negotiations. Quote, just to put it out there, like I never wanted to leave LA. Initially, I was trying not to leave LA. LA is my home. This is where I wanted to finish it. I wanted to work as hard as possible to win one in LA. That was the goal, to be here and be committed to LA. As it played out, though, like the first initial deal was, I thought kind of disrespectful. Again, in all of this, no hard feelings, no love lost. It's a business. So the first initial deal was like 2 years, $60 million. So I'm like, whoa. So I'm like, nah, I'm not signing that. George then said that the Clippers went on to pitch him on continuing to build around him and Kawhi Leonard long term. Per George, the Clippers went up inches after their initial offer in October until they got to an offer of $45 million annually. Then in January, Leonard signed a fully guaranteed 3-year, $150 million extension. George said that he would have agreed to the same deal during the season. Quote, then I hear wind of what they're going to give Kawhi. So I'm like, just give me what Kawhi got. Y'all view us the same. We came here together. We want to finish this shit together. I'll take what Kawhi got. No problem. I was cool with that. And we were still taking less than max contract value. Kawhi took less. I was like, if Kawhi's going to take less, I'm not going to say I want more than Kawhi. It's not about me being paid more than him. I want to take what he got. Y'all give him that. Give me that. They didn't want to do that. George said he then cut off in-season negotiations at the All-Star break with plans to pick up talks again after the season. He said that after the season ended, the Clippers offered him around 3 years, $150 million, similar to Leonard's deal. He said that he countered with an offer to accept that deal if it came with a no-trade clause. He said that the Clippers declined to include a no-trade clause and that he countered again with a max contract of 4 years and $212 million without a no-trade clause. He said the Clippers rejected that offer and that talks eventually reached a stalemate. Quote, I love owner Steve Ballmer. I love Lawrence Frank. But at that point, it didn't even feel right to come back with that type of energy and being comfortable playing back in LA. Whew, Ray, man, just what are your thoughts on Mr. George, and just what are your thoughts on what I just said, man?
Dog, why are you saying this out loud? Like, and why do you, as you're saying this, how do you not realize you sound stupid? Why would you get what Kawhi got? That's a 2-time champion, Finals MVP. Like, wow, you've done nothing since you've been there but disappoint. You should have been happy with them wanting to give you $30 million a year. Like, I don't understand. I don't get it. Like, why do you feel like you're entitled to the most money they can possibly give you when you have not delivered on your initial promises from when they first got you there? They gonna be showing that graphic of that trade for years. Like, dog, y'all was supposed to have won one by now. And now after you failed repeatedly, you acting like they owe you something? No, you owe them something. Like, what are you doing, man? Like, so, man, after hearing that, him and Embiid on the same team, boy, that's, man, whew. But yeah, we got to do away with these podcasts, dog. Like, nobody wants to hear y'all innermost thoughts because they're trash. Like, that's you supposed to have that conversation with your buddies. That's not supposed to leave the group chat because you sound utterly foolish. Like, what have you done that would have them say, all right, cool, yeah, we can do this? Absolutely nothing. Like, so good luck, man. And now that you talking like they've wronged you in some way, you thought you got slandered before. Now you gotta win. You gotta win now. And when you don't, that's gonna be played on the loop. So I don't know why they keep giving folks bulletin board material, but that's the age we in. But yeah, man, there's no world where the Clippers would have gave him what he was asking for.
Wilson.
My man said, I want what Kawhi got, bro. You only here because that's why I love the internet, man, right? We in the information age. People love saying random things. You weren't even the first person that came to mind when he got there. So why are you talking like this? It's actually one of his teammates on Team USA. That was the first person that came to mind. But I'm gonna let you live off that because people love numbers, right? So Kawhi just never plays, right? While you were talking, Ray, I was over here on my handy dandy calculator on my phone, just doing some things, right? One would assume, because of narratives, that Kawhi's played significantly less games than Paul George as a Clipper, correct? I feel like that's what most people would think. Mm-hmm. He's played 34 more games. Paul George has played 34 more games than Kawhi, and Kawhi's missed a season during their tenure with the Clippers. No. Just no. Also, career-wise, and this is not anything and not Paul George. This is when we had those conversations about people that move needles, why the league feels things, trembles, or what have you. When certain people move and why people don't care when other people move, right? Or it's a cute story. All right. So PG again, this is still impressive. Anybody who has a career average of 20 in the league should be lauded and commended for that. Like, it's the NBA. It's not easy. All right. 44 for his career, 44% from the field, 38 from deep. I feel like most people wouldn't call Kawhi a three-point shooter or whatever because narratives and people are interesting. Either way, because of the sake of I want what Kawhi got. This is why it sounds absurd. I'm going to leave the championship stuff off the table. He also averages 20 points for his career, but 4.99 from the floor is what Kawhi shoots. 4.99. He also shoots 39 from three for his career. There's no way in hell, and it's keeping the championship stuff off the table. That y'all were getting the same thing. Just how you guys were talking about Clay, which is kind of, moments get being competitive, humbling yourself, and understand, like, you were brought there, like, to help him. It wasn't, hey, we need you two together. Like, it's not it's not even like the Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown thing. Like, we know Kawhi has literally a degenerative issue with his knee. I know people love forgetting this because we just like saying stupid things as a group, as the masses. We just like leaving that part out. When something's degenerative, it literally gets worse the more you do something with it. Like, it's going to get worse over time. It's any day that passes, it's going to get worse. 34 more games is absurd when somebody missed the whole season. What are you talking about, dude? Oh, yeah, and then the 2 championships. Like, we're not even, are we even 10 years removed from Toronto's title? Okay, cool. Like, cool. Like, what are we talking about? And also, like, even again, like, he's on Team USA, bro. Like, just leave it alone, man. Just leave us alone. You could have took your 30 and cool, and that's great. Or even if this played out, don't tell us. Just go to your new team and do what you need to do. Also, I hope you are ready to find out that there's a huge difference media market-wise between the Clippers And the Sixers, brother. Sir. You like a second, you second, third world countries, the Clippers, y'all do what y'all want. Don't matter. They're going to talk Lakers no matter what happens. So, like, even matter of fact, y'all got sent home out the playoffs. You and James Harden ain't catch no flack because Kendrick and Drake were going on. Nobody ever got at y'all for that. Because it was the Clippers. Oh, Philly's going to eat you alive. Hey, sir. Any clip, any gift, anything, it's going to be in them stands. I wish you the best of Philly.
Octavia.
I'm so immature right now. I can't take it. You're not lying. They're gonna be on his ass. Like, I know I'm an Eagles fan. I'm not a Philly Sixers fan or anything, but they're gonna be on his ass. Like, point blank period. You mean to tell me we got 3 motherfuckers on this team that's making $200 million plus? Or they're gonna be on your head. And for the life of me, I can't get this out of my head. Wilson was like, they wasn't even really checking for you in the first place. The only thing that went in my head is like, I'm loving basketball. It's like the only reason you here is because Tanya Randall got pregnant and decided not to come. Okay, like that's all I can think about in my head. But yeah, he tripping. For all the reasons you guys said, I don't even think I need to say it again. But yeah, bro, like you've done. I mean, he's literally done nothing in the league. I mean, I'm not saying he's done like zero, but I don't think he's done anything to warrant this. I mean, but hey, you go where they're going to pay you. Congratulations. You know, Philly decided to shell out all that money for you. We know how Daryl Morey goes, and you know, congratulations. But yeah, they're going to be on your head. You think you're going to keep doing podcasts? You think you're going to do a podcast after y'all get blown out and you don't score? You see James Harden wasn't doing no damn podcast. Good luck to you.
The thing that he said in his quote is, Kawhi got, 3 years, 150. I don't want more than Kawhi. Then at the end of the year, when they came back with the deal, he said he didn't want that. He wanted a no-trade clause with it. You just said you didn't want more than Kawhi, so that should have been enough. Why would they give you a no-trade clause in this atmosphere, these situation, bro? And on top of that, my man, you 33, you're going to be 34 soon. Like, with your injury, dog, y'all remember when I say he's a tease? He's the ultimate tease. He's the poster child for what this era of basketball, a lot of these kids are. The talent, you see all that, but they don't got it all in here. They don't. Bro, you go discuss it on your podcast? That's internal business. Like, I would never talk about that. And then the thing is, no one believes they offered you 2 years and $60 million. That's a hell of a low ball. That's just like, it's hard to believe that because no front office will give you that, knowing that players going to talk. It will make it harder for a free agent to want to come there in the future. That don't even make sense, man. So, and then Wilson make a good point. Since you came to the Clippers, 2019, you played 48 games that season, 54 games the following season, 31 games in the 21-22 season, 56 games 22-23 season, and then you all of a sudden miraculously played 74 during your contract year. Oh, hell, man, I'm going to push through these injuries now, man. I got to get the bag. Yeah. All of a sudden, your low management wasn't no low management issues and stuff. And you still got out and played in the first round. You still got up out of there. Why would they want to offer you that knowing you don't play every game? You're not available most of the time. And y'all not any close to winning. And you're starting to get past your prime. You're 33. This ain't a LeBron type situation. You're starting to get to the other side. So why would they? You had Russell Westbrook, you, Kawhi, James. Y'all went on the first round. Why would I give you a bonus for underachieving? And then, bro, see that smile right there, that shape up, that shit gonna go back like Jeff Van Gundy in Philly. It's about to be stressful, bro. I'm trying to tell you, bro. Northeast don't play. Look, the Northeast part of this country don't give a I'm trying to tell you, dog. They don't play. They don't play. Hey, have we forgotten what they were saying? Little kid cussing out Joel Embiid, telling him what he could suck after the Knicks beat him and all that. That's about to be you, bro. It's about to be you. And you gonna get it from the hometown fan. Do that. I'm just saying, do that crap you did in the Clippers and think that shit gonna fly in Philly, see what happens. It's gonna be hard to walk the streets. You better have security. You better have security.
And he decides to wear 8.
Go ahead, Wilson. Go ahead, close the show.
And you decide to wear 8? Okay.
Hey, man, not only that.
All right.
Not only that, you wanted to come out east when the Knicks are the Knicks again? You are tripping, sir. You are tripping. Philly's already Philly. Now Philly's going to be Philly while New York is good. Like, that's like Ratchet. And Boston's coming off a chip. Philly just hit like 900 more levels of being Philly. Just cuz right now. Just cuz. Like, you know who the happiest professional athletes in Philly are right now? The Eagles. Like, bro, they get to just skate by. Like, JoJo didn't play. Paul didn't play. They just gave Maxie money. Look. Like, we just been consistent. Like, hey, bro, it's not our fault. NFC tough out here.
So,
oh, 212 mil, they are going to be on your head. The furthest east you came was Indiana. That you had
players, 3 $200 million players. And Maxie just got his deal. Maxie, Hellman, and B. Unless you don't play and show up and see what happens. I'm trying to tell you, Russell's on your team. He ain't tell you what happened when he played with the Wizards. They dumping popcorn on him when he leaving. You ready to fuck? I'm just saying. I'm just.
Ain't gonna be no home time.
And the 2 teams you got to get past got multiple guys that can jump you, and Tatum or Brown. And then you got the Knicks, the Nova boys, and they seek dudes out like you. They love it. Come on. And Randall gonna be back next. Come on. All right, go ahead, Wilson. It's on you, bro.
Yeah, I was just saying, man, like, I get, like, you know, it's a bag. Boy, do you know how quickly I would have went right back to Kawhi now? Whatever that offer was. Because if anything happens, I'm just gonna blame Kawhi and keep potting. We good. Just I'm number 2. I'm just here to help. Like, what you expect out of me? I ain't want the chips. Just here to help. Instead, you want the Philly.
And they in your division, the Knicks and Boston. That's 4 times, player. You got to see them 4 times in the regular season, both teams, and then you're going to have to at least see one of them in the playoffs, guaranteed. And that's if you make it that far.
And the dudes at your position that you got to deal with, those kids don't miss games. Philly is going to have it out for you.
They don't even sub. They in there the whole game. They don't tweet the game. They ain't going nowhere, dog.
Like, I don't think he thought this one through, man. And then you threw the 8 on. And
you want to deal, you would have had to deal with the end of a dynasty Warriors, the Lakers. Your division, all you got to deal was the Kings. You was chilling. Go ahead, dog. Go ahead, Wilson.
All you had to do was deal with DeMar a couple times a month. Worst case scenario, if Kawhi wasn't playing. Otherwise, you go hang out on somebody else and just be tall. Bro, it's going to be hell in Philly. It's going to be hell for you. Every time Mikal Bridges breathes, that Philly crowd going to be on your neck. Anytime Jaylen Brown does anything, they're going to be on your neck. Let Jason Tatum have fun in the Olympics. It's somehow going to be your fault. Sir. That's the look, man, that's on him. We appreciate y'all for tuning in this week. We'll see y'all next week. Just remember, no matter what you're going through, it could be worse, man. Like,
you could be Paul
George about to be in Philly in Eastern Conference when Boston's coming off a championship and the Knicks just became the Knicks again. It's not safe. It's just not. It's not, man. But don't forget, get over to thefocustv.com. Tune into the Focus TV, obviously every Wednesday mornings, early as 9 a.m. And check it out every day. If you got Roku television or device, all you got to do is search the Focus TV in the search box, double tap OK to add the channel. We will see you guys soon.